Signs a married woman likes you but is hiding it. That is a topic that catches attention very quickly because the signals can feel real, confusing, and hard to read. Maybe you have noticed something, a look that lasted a little too long, a conversation that felt more personal than it should have, a change in energy when the two of you are alone and now you are wondering what it means. Welcome to today's video where we are breaking down the signs a married woman may be interested in you while trying to keep it hidden. Before we go any further, let's make one thing very clear. This is not about crossing boundaries. It is not about encouraging disrespect toward marriage or helping anyone act recklessly. This is about understanding human behavior. People do send signals, sometimes on purpose and sometimes without realizing it. And when you understand those signals, you begin to see relationships and emotions more clearly. In this video, we are going to look at the subtle signs a married woman may show if she likes you but does not want to admit it openly. We will also talk about the psychology behind those behaviors and, most importantly, how to handle the situation with maturity and integrity. Let's begin with the context. Why would a married woman, someone who is already committed, show interest in another person at all? The answer is not always simple. Relationships are complicated, marriage is complicated, and human emotions do not always stay neatly inside the lines people expect. In some cases, a woman may feel emotionally overlooked in her marriage. That does not automatically mean she is unhappy or that her marriage is falling apart. Sometimes it simply means she feels unseen in certain ways. Maybe she is not receiving enough attention, emotional connection, validation, or appreciation, and then someone else comes along and offers a small piece of what has been missing. Sometimes it is not even about physical attraction in the beginning. Sometimes it starts with little things. Someone remembers a detail she mentioned. Someone notices she changed her hair. Someone gives her a compliment that feels thoughtful instead of routine. Small moments like that can have a bigger emotional effect than people realize, especially if those moments are rare in her daily relationship. That is where confusion starts. What may look innocent on the surface can begin to carry emotional meaning underneath. But here is where caution matters. Married women, like anyone else, can be warm, friendly, thoughtful, and engaging without romantic intent. So the key is not to jump to conclusions. The key is learning how to tell the difference between simple friendliness and focused interest. Is she like this with everyone, or is her energy clearly different with you? Does she go out of her way to connect with you more than she does with others? Does the attention feel specific and deliberate? Those are the questions that matter. Now, let's talk about one of the clearest places hidden interest often shows up: body language. When people are trying to hide what they feel, their words may stay controlled, but the body often reveals more than they intend. One of the most common signs is lingering eye contact. If she holds your gaze just a little longer than normal, or if you catch her looking at you more than once from across the room, it may not be random. Eye contact is one of the oldest forms of silent connection. It creates tension, familiarity, and emotional focus without needing words. The important detail is what happens next. If she looks away quickly when caught, that can matter even more. It creates that back and forth pattern, the glance, the pause, the quick shift away, which often suggests she is aware of her own attention and trying to hide it. Another body language sign is subtle grooming. Notice how she acts when you are nearby. Does she touch her hair, smooth her clothes, adjust her necklace, or lightly touch her neck? These gestures might seem small, but they are often subconscious responses when someone becomes more aware of how they are presenting themselves. It is not proof by itself, but when it happens repeatedly around you, it can be meaningful. Posture matters, too. If she leans toward you when you speak, angles her body in your direction, keeps her arms open, or looks especially relaxed around you, that can show comfort and interest. On the other hand, if her body language changes quickly when other people enter the room, if she becomes formal, takes a step back, crosses her arms, or avoids eye contact, that contrast can be revealing. The shift itself is often the clue. It can suggest she is trying to manage how the interaction looks from the outside. Now, let's move into communication, because attraction often becomes clearer through patterns in conversation. A married woman who is interested but hiding it may talk to you in a way that feels more personal than necessary. Maybe a simple question turns into a deeper conversation. Maybe she shares details about her thoughts, her feelings, or her daily life that go beyond casual small talk. That kind of emotional openness can be a sign she values your attention and enjoys the connection you create. Another sign is remembering small details. Did she bring up something you mentioned weeks ago? Does she remember your coffee order, your favorite show, a stressful meeting you had, or a story you barely thought she noticed? When someone is interested, they often pay closer attention than usual. They remember things because your words matter more to them than they should on a casual level. Compliments can also reveal a lot. Friendly people give compliments, yes, but certain compliments feel different. If she praises not just what is obvious, but your personality, your ideas, your sense of humor, your effort, or the way you handle things, that can show a deeper level of notice. She is not just being polite, she is showing you that she sees you. But again, the biggest clue is not only what she says, it is how she says it. The tone, the warmth, the extra attention in the moment. If the conversation makes you feel unusually seen or valued, that is worth noticing. Now, let's talk about effort, because effort is often where hidden interest becomes easier to spot. A married woman who likes you but is trying not to make it obvious may still find ways to be near you. Maybe she shows up where you are more often than expected. Maybe she joins conversations or group settings she usually would not. Maybe she passes by your workspace more than necessary. Maybe she finds little reasons to interact. These moments may look accidental, but repeated coincidences often are not. You may also notice a growing interest in things you like. Maybe she starts asking about your hobbies, your favorite books, your music, your workouts, or the shows you watch. Maybe she suddenly has opinions about things you care about, even if she never mentioned them before. This can be her way of creating common ground. Shared interests make connection easier, and for someone trying to hide their feelings, this is a quiet way of moving closer without saying anything direct. Now, let's look at something equally important: hesitation. Because if she is hiding what she feels, you may notice contradictions. When you are alone, she may seem warm, engaged, relaxed, even emotionally open. But in public, especially around others, she may become distant or formal. She may avoid direct interaction, keep conversations brief, or act as if nothing is happening at all. This is often not a sign of disinterest. It can be a sign of internal conflict. She may be trying to protect herself from attention, suspicion, or guilt. That is why the contrast matters so much. If she seems noticeably different in private than she does in public, that change can tell you a lot. You may also notice that when someone else joins your conversation, she suddenly pulls back. The tone changes, the warmth disappears, she becomes guarded. Again, that contrast is often more meaningful than the warmth itself. It suggests she is carefully managing appearances. Then come the mixed signals. One day she is open, smiling, and clearly engaged. The next day she acts distant, distracted, or almost cold. This kind of inconsistency is common when someone is feeling something they do not want to fully admit. She may feel pulled towards you in one moment, then reminded of her boundaries in the next. So, she moves closer, then retreats. She shows warmth, then overcorrects. That push and pull is usually not random. It often reflects her internal struggle. And here is another important truth. Even if all the signs seem to be there, a married woman who is hiding interest will usually avoid direct confirmation. She is unlikely to say it openly. She may deny it, laugh it off, or change the subject if it ever gets too close to being named. That does not automatically mean the signals are imaginary. It means the situation is complicated, and she likely does not want to face the consequences of saying it aloud. So, what should you do if you find yourself in this situation? This is where maturity matters most. First, respect the boundary. No matter how strong the signals may seem, she is married. That fact matters. Her marriage is a commitment, and stepping into that space carelessly can hurt more people than you realize. If you have any self-respect, then respect for boundaries has to come with it. Attraction is one thing, action is another. Second, assess your own role. Ask yourself honestly whether you might be encouraging the situation. Have you been giving extra attention back? Have you been feeding the chemistry even subtly? Sometimes a smile, a private joke, a compliment, or emotional availability can deepen the connection more than intended. If you realize you are contributing to the dynamic, the mature move is to create space, not more closeness. That does not mean being rude. It does not mean embarrassing her. It means being calm, respectful, and clear in your own behavior. Keep things appropriate. Reduce overly personal conversations. Avoid one-on-one settings if needed. Let your actions carry the boundary without creating drama. Third, protect your peace. Situations like this can become emotionally draining very fast. Mixed signals, hidden tension, private chemistry, and moral complexity create confusion. If it starts disturbing your peace of mind, do not ignore that. You do not need to confront her dramatically. You do not need a big scene, but you do need clarity inside yourself. Sometimes the most mature thing a man can do is quietly step back. And finally, remember the biggest takeaway. Awareness is not permission. Recognizing the signs does not mean you should act on them. It means you understand what may be happening beneath the surface. And understanding should make you wiser, not reckless. So, what have we learned? Hidden attraction from a married woman may show up in lingering eye contact, subtle grooming, body orientation, deeper conversations, remembering small details, thoughtful compliments, effort to be near you, and noticeable contrast between private warmth and public distance. Mixed signals often suggest conflict, not clarity, and refusal to admit anything directly often reflects the fact that the line is real and she knows it. But the most important part of all of this is not learning how to win the situation. It is learning how to see clearly and respond with integrity. Human behavior is complex. Attraction is complex. But your values should not become complicated just because the signals are. If a situation like this ever happens around you, stay grounded, stay respectful, stay aware, and above all, stay true to the kind of man you want to be. If you found value in this, subscribe for more insights into psychology, human behavior, and relationships. There is more coming, and the next one goes even deeper. Let's continue because there are still deeper layers to this that most people miss. One of the strongest signs is emotional timing. Pay attention to when she reaches out, when she becomes more open, and when her energy toward you shifts. Is it during moments when she seems stressed, frustrated, lonely, or emotionally overlooked? Sometimes attraction does not first show up as romance. Sometimes it shows up as relief. Relief that someone sees her. Relief that someone listens. Relief that someone makes her feel interesting, noticed, or emotionally alive again. That is why timing matters. If her warmth towards you grows strongest when her personal life feels heavy, then what you are seeing may be less about bold intention and more about emotional escape. That does not make it fake. It makes it complicated. Another sign is the way she reacts to your attention. A married woman trying to hide interest may act very normal until you give attention to someone else. Then something shifts. Maybe she becomes quieter. Maybe she suddenly inserts herself into the conversation. Maybe her tone changes. Maybe she asks questions she would not normally ask. Jealousy is not always loud. Often it appears as subtle interruption, unusual curiosity, or a sudden need to re-enter your space. If her energy changes when your attention moves elsewhere, that is worth noticing. You may also notice emotional testing. This is when she says things that seem casual on the surface, but they are really attempts to understand your feelings. She might ask what kind of woman you like. She might joke about whether you are seeing someone. She might bring up relationship topics in a way that feels oddly personal. She may even talk about marriage, attraction, or emotional needs in a broader way while quietly watching your response. These are not always innocent topics. Sometimes they are indirect ways of checking the door without fully opening it. Another clue is private vulnerability. When someone is hiding attraction, they often reveal it not by being bold, but by becoming unusually honest. She may start sharing disappointments, frustrations, or emotional struggles that feel deeper than the relationship you officially have with her. She may trust you with parts of herself she keeps hidden from others. This can feel meaningful, and often it is, but it is also where emotional boundaries can blur very quickly. A woman who is developing hidden feelings may begin turning to you for emotional closeness before either of you fully admits what is happening. That is why you have to be careful. Emotional intimacy can grow faster than physical attraction, and sometimes it becomes even harder to step back from. Watch for secrecy in small forms too. Not dramatic secrecy, but quiet, careful adjustments.